Book 1, Chapter 6, Sowing, of Hard Times, is called Sleary's Horsemanship. The circus is lodging at a public house called the Pegasus's Arms. Mr. Bounderby and Mr. Gradgrind meet with two performers, Mr. E.W.B. Childers and Master Kidderminster, while Sissy looks around for her father. The performers are annoyed by Mr. Bounderby's bluster. Mr. Childers explains that Mr. Jupe's recent performances have gone badly. In fact, he and his dog Merrylegs have left the circus and Sissy behind. Mr. Childers defends Mr. Jupe, saying he loves Sissy and wants her to be educated so she can have a better life, and therefore he left her for her own good. Mr. Gradgrind consults the circus owner, Mr. Sleary, about what's best for Sissy, and is very concerned to learn that her father has indeed left. Mr. Sleary offers to apprentice her to one of the riders, assuring her they will care for her as one of their own. Mr. Gradgrind offers to take Sissy into his home to care for his wife and be educated, on the condition she never speak of the circus again. Sissy believes her father wants her to go to school, so she decides to go with Mr. Gradgrind, bidding a tearful farewell to the attentive and caring circus. For a circus troupe that makes its name and living from its skill and prowess with horse riding, the symbol of the Pegasus elevates the troupe's work to legendary status, glorifying the horses the men and women ride and perform with. Also, the names of the two performers, Kidderminster and Childers, contain references to childhood, associating them with innocence, goodness, and a childlike imagination. While Mr. Bounderby and Mr. Gradgrind look down on the performers look down on Mr. Bounderby, who, as usual, is full of himself. Master Kidderminster is openly dismissive of Mr. Bounderby's bluster. Mr. Childers is subtler, but also more vicious in his dismissal of Mr. Bounderby. He is not astonished to hear Mr. Bounderby's mother left him, implying he is so obnoxious even his own mother couldn't bear to be around him. Mr. Sleary and the others reveal the second feature of the company, the paradox of familial love, when they defend Mr. Jupe's decision to leave his daughter. Mr. Bounderby judges Mr. Jupe's decision harshly, but he has no children. Mr. Gradgrind, on the other hand, does have children and offers no direct comment or judgment on Mr. Jupe's course of action. He likely disapproves, but he also may understand the parental drive to sacrifice for a child's interests, and admires Mr. Jupe's high regard for education, which might be equal to his own. He is so moved by Mr. Jupe's desire that he offers her a place in his own home and school, even though he originally had intended to encourage her to leave.